Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a fantastic day and that you're looking after yourselves and one another. It is Friday, and in this episode of the Music Den, I'm going to be doing my top three albums of one Ozzy Osbourne. Now, for those of you who don't know, Ozzy Osbourne, born John Osbourne, lead singer of Black Sabbath in the 70s, unceremoniously kicked out of Black Sabbath in 1979 due to personal conflicts with the band, went on to have a successful, lucrative, and at times controversial solo career starting in the 80s, has released albums in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and most recently 2020s with the release of Patient Number 9 on September 9th of 2022. In doing my research, as I scratch myself, I've been really itchy over the past few weeks. I don't know why. Anyways, in doing my research for this segment, one word seemed to come over and over again, or seemed to come to mind repeatedly, and that word is discrepancy. Okay, Ozzy Osbourne is no stranger to controversy over the years, being banned in Texas for whizzing on the Alamo, snorting ants with Motley Crue. The word discrepancy does seem to fit this individual in that there has been discrepancies as to who wrote what, who arranged what, who sang what, and who got credit for what. And that seems to be a recurring theme with every single band lineup he has ever had. I am not knocking Ozzy Osbourne. I think his music is fantastic. I love Bark at the Moon. That was my first introduction to Ozzy Osbourne. And then Ultimate Sin. And then I got into his stuff, in the 90s, No More Tears, etc. That was where I kind of fell off. I've heard of albums, Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman. But Bark at the Moon was my introduction to Ozzy Osbourne. I had no idea that he was the lead singer of Black Sabbath. But the word discrepancy does fit his situation. So I'm going to give you my top three Ozzy Osbourne albums, okay? And hopefully you'll enjoy this. And again, put your comments down below when you see this episode and tell me what your top three Ozzy Osbourne albums are. And, again, we can get a dialogue going. Again, there are no right or wrong answers for these segments. So coming in at number three is The Ultimate Sin. Released January 24th, 1996. All of these albums, I should also state, have been released through Sony, either Epic or CBS Associated or Jet in the early 80s. The Ultimate Sin, again, released January 24th, 1986, produced by Ron Nevison. Included the hits The Ultimate Sin, Lightning Strikes, and Shot in the Dark, my personal favorite. The original title for this album was to be Killer of Giants. This is the last album, the second and last album to feature Jake E. Lee on guitars and songwriting. Sorry, as my eyes are really itchy. Anyways, this is a good album. It is. The only thing about this album that puts it at number three for me is the production on it. Ron Nevison, producer, has worked with groups like Kiss, Heart, The Who, and Quadrophenia. It does suffer from an 80s production style, an 80s production slant, I should say, in terms of the drums, in terms of the bass. Every drum track on this album to me sounds the same. And if that's what you're going for, then that's fine. But I don't find that there is any uniqueness on this album in terms of the production and engineering. Ozzy Osbourne has said that this is his least favorite album of his catalog due to the fact that it was Ron Nevison's production and engineering style. According to Ozzy Osbourne, there's no imagination on the production or the engineering. It just sounds the same. This, from the research I've done, is one of the only albums that has not been reissued again on CD. The catalog has been reissued, I think, a couple of times. Most recently in 2002. This is one of the only albums that really hasn't been reissued, due to the fact that there has been a discrepancy again with songwriting credits on the track "Shot in the Dark" from a bassist, Bill Susan, who appears on the album. He claims to have written "Shot in the Dark," and Ozzy Osbourne says he wrote it. So it's for that reason that it hasn't been reissued on CD, I believe, as of 2002. Coming in at number 2 is Patient Number 9. Released September 9th, 2022. This was the quick follow-up to the release of Ordinary Man, released in February 21st, 2020. Produced by Andrew Watt, who has worked with other musicians. So, most recently, he's worked on the Rolling Stones' new album, Hackney Diamonds, coming out October 20th. I just pre-ordered my copy today. Hope you guys are doing the same. The lead-off track, Angry, for me is catchy as all hell. Great. Anyways, back to Ozzy Osbourne. Patient Number 9, produced by Andrew Watt, who also contributed keyboards, programming, bass, guitar to this album. This album, along with more so this album than Ordinary Man, but this album is a who's who of songwriting contributors and guest appearances. Patient Number 9, the lead-off single on the album, it's 7 minutes plus. Fantastic. It's catchy. It's melodic. It's hooky. It is all of that. Featuring Jeff Beck on guest lead guitar, guest soloist. The main songwriting team for this album were Chad Smith, drummer for Red Hot Chili Peppers, Robert Trujillo on bass from Metallica. Also, Taylor Hawkins, rest in peace, Taylor Hawkins from Foo Fighters, contributed to 3 tracks on this album. Again, the guest soloists include Jeff Beck on 2 tracks, Patient Number 9 and 1,000 Shades. Immortal, which is a fantastic track, featuring Mike McCready. Another Mike McCready from Pearl Jam. Another fantastic track, Parasite. Again, Robert Trujillo's bass on this album is so bloody evident, and it is beautiful. It is heavy-handed. It is crunchy. It is right in your face, and you bloody love it. I'm sorry, I get really excited, but this album, for me, is fantastic. If this is the album he's going to go out on, hello, have fun. There you go. You have it up right there. Other songs of note on this album are No Escape From Now, featuring Tony Iommi, One of Those Days, featuring Eric Clapton on guitar, Mr. Darkness, Nothing Feels Right, featuring Zakk Wylde, Degradation Rules, again featuring Tony Iommi. This is a who's who of songwriting credits and musicianship. on this album. And you know what? It is what it is. It's a good album. It's catchy. It's melodic. It is memorable. Do the songs stick in your head? Yes, they do, especially Patient Number 9. It is bloody, melodic, and it pulls you in, pulls you in. Do his vocals sound treated, auto tune? Yes, they do. They do. There's no way around it. They do. Is he the first artist to do this successfully and people have accepted it? No. Is this a good album for him to go out on in terms of his career? Yes, because it is hooky as all hell. And you know what? It is what it is. It is a great album. Okay. That's number 2. Coming in at number 1, there's a bit of a twist here. I tied number 1 with 2 albums. My number 1 album is, it's a double shot. Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman. Now, I'll go through this. Blizzard of Oz, released March 27th, 1991, released in 1980 in the UK. For an album like this to start your solo career off with, bloody hell. He worked with Randy Rhoads, Bob Daisley, Lee Kerslake. Like, amazing, amazing songs like I Don't Know to lead off the album. Crazy Train. When you hear that song now, you know that that's Ozzy Osbourne. You know. Okay. Goodbye to Romance, which was apparently dedicated to his ex-bandmates when he was fired from Black Sabbath. The 50-second little acoustic piece called D. And what I like about, or what I love about Randy Rhoads playing is that this guy was classically trained. He was a guitar virtuoso. He had the chops, the technical skill, and the feel of a master. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. He had it all in his head. He knew how he wanted to relay all that information from his head through to his fingers, through the guitar. He was amazing. He was amazing. Revelation, Mother Earth, another fantastic track. Steal Away the Night, which ends off the album. We move on to Diary of a Madman. Okay, released October later that year, 1981. This album was recorded in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. You think about that. 3 bloody weeks. Okay, all this stuff is recorded. All right. Again, this was the last album to feature Randy Rhoads, unfortunately, who passed away from a plane accident mishap in March of 1982, along with a friend of Sharon Osbourne's. This album again features Bob Daisley on bass. Fantastic. Over the Mountain, one of their singles. Flying High Again. You Can't Kill Rock and Roll. Great, all these tracks. Believer, Little Dolls, which with that drum intro, which to me should have been released as a single. Tonight, which was as a single. SATO, and for me, the masterpiece of this album, along with Flying High Again, but this track, the title track, Diary of a Madman, It is orchestral, it is grand, it is sophisticated, it is downright almost prog, you know. Randy Rhoads' guitar on this track is amazing. It is animalistic. It is primal. It is in your face. And you can't get away from it. You can't. This track was another bone of contention. Bob Daisley apparently wrote the lyrics to the track. And it, I mean, it's based on, apparently it is based on his experiences with mental health issues when he was a teenager. And he was writing from his own experience. This one track for me, after listening to it and soaking it in and having it go through my pores, like literally through my pores, you know what I mean? Like amazing. This track to me saves this album. Okay, it is one of the most orchestrated, I was going to say orchestrated, lavish, intricate tracks on this album. This could be considered prog, a la 1981, with a bit of heavy-handed guitar from Randy Rhoads. And you know what? Fan-bloody-tastic. Okay? So that is my list. I'll give you the list again. Coming in at number 3, The Ultimate Sin. Coming in at number 2, Patient number 9. And coming in at number 1 as a tie, Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman. And the reason why I put Diary of a Madman on top of Blizzard of Oz is due to the title track. I put it just slightly above what's on Blizzard of Oz, but not by much. And in terms of Blizzard of Oz, if you didn't know, the original name of the group was supposed to be Blizzard of Oz for his new solo venture. And until the album came out with his name in bold typesetting and slightly bigger than the name Blizzard of Oz, the band thought that the album was going to be credited to Blizzard of Oz, but no, instead it was credited to Ozzy Osbourne. Okay, as I said, I love Ozzy Osbourne. I love his work. Some albums I love more than others, as with any artist, but it's got to be said that his songwriting history has been marred in controversy. He has said in interviews later on, even in his autobiography, that people like Randy Rhoads and Jake E. Lee and Zakk Wylde have contributed more to the albums than originally stated. So if he's saying it himself, okay, there's not much more that can be said. So again, that is my list. Please, down below, please tell me your top 3 Ozzy Osbourne albums, obviously from any decade. And that's it for now. I will be doing an episode with Peter Kent from the Lizard King channel on our top 10 Rolling Stones albums. That's coming up on September the 16th. We're taping that. It'll be aired September 17th. Coming up on possibly September 15th with Bill Schuster, we'll be doing part 3 of our 4-part Joe Jackson series. So hopefully you tune in for that. That will be airing on the 16th of September. And I will be having more videos coming up. I will also be doing again a video with Grant Arthur from Grant's Rock Warehouse on the Tea Party on their 4th release triptych through EMI Canada from 1999. So please tune in for that. And also tune in to Grant's Rock Warehouse for his content. Fantastic content on his channel. And also tune into the Lizard King channel with Mr. Peter Kent. He also has fantastic content. So that's it for now. I will be back soon with another video. Hopefully you guys are having a good day and going to have a good weekend. Look after yourselves and one another. And I will see you very soon. Bye for now.